Class 5th. Subject English. Topic A Lark by Lawrence Alma-Tadema. About the poet. Lawrence Alma-Tadema, born 1865, Brussels, Belgium, died 1940, London, United Kingdom. Lawrence Tadema was an English writer of the late 19th and early 20th centuries who worked in many genres. Now, before we learn about the poem A Lark, let us learn and know about the bird lark. Lark bird. A lark bird is a small brown bird that is known for its beautiful singing. Larks, which are part of the family of usually brownish birds, are small to medium-sized birds. They feed on insects and seeds, though adults of most species eat seeds primarily. All species feed their young insects for at least the first week after hatching. Many species dig with their bills to uncover food. Habitats vary widely, but many species live in dry regions. A lark. Larkbird, soaring high. Are you never weary when you reach the empty sky? Are the clouds not dreary? Don't you sometimes long to be a silent goldfish in the sea? Goldfish, diving deep. Are you never sad, say, when you feel the cold waves creep? Are you really glad, say, don't you sometimes long to sing and be a larkbird on the wing? Larkbird, soaring high. Soaring meaning flying or rising high in the air. Are you never weary? Weary meaning very tired. When you reach the empty sky, are the clouds not dreary? Dreary meaning dull and boring. Don't you sometimes long to be? Long to meaning badly wish to do something. A silent goldfish in the sea? So, in this stanza, the poet asks the lark, which is flying high in the sky, and whether it gets tired flying high up in the sky. To reach that high in the sky, the lark has to flap its wings. So, the poet is wondering if it gets tired flying high up in the sky. Then the poet is asking the lark that when it reaches high in the sky, he finds only clouds in the sky. So, the poet is wondering if the larkbird finds it very boring when the bird reaches the empty sky. The poet is telling us that the lark seems to be very lonely when in an empty sky because there is no one and nothing else there high up in the sky but just the larkbird. And so the poet asks the lark if it finds the clouds very boring because it's flying so high up in the sky that there is nothing else there. And the poet is telling the lark that if it wishes to be a goldfish in the sea, and he wonders that if the lark could wish to be a silent goldfish. And so the poet wonders that if the lark also wishes to be a goldfish when it looks at the sea. And so he keeps wondering if the lark bird badly wishes to be like a silent goldfish in the sea. Goldfish, goldfish, diving deep, diving meaning moving quickly or suddenly through the air, especially in a downward direction. Are you never sad, say? When you feel the cold waves creep meaning move slowly and quietly. Are you really glad, say? Don't you sometimes long to sing and be a larkbird on the wing? So, in this stanza, the poet then talks to the goldfish diving deep into the sea. And the poet is asking the goldfish if it never feels sad, and asks that when it feels the cold waves move slowly and quietly towards it, does he really feel happy? And when the waves come towards the goldfish, who is deep into the sea, and then the poet is asking the goldfish if it wants to become a larkbird and if it longs to sing like a larkbird. And she keeps wondering if the goldfish wants to be a larkbird and sing and fly high up in the sky, as the goldfishes cannot fly. And so the poet is wondering if someday they wish to be a larkbird and fly high up in the sky and sing beautifully like a larkbird. And so the poet keeps wondering and keeps asking the goldfish, which is diving deep into the sea, that whether it is never sad and if it is really happy when it feels the cold waves coming towards it, and is he really happy just being in the water, or does he want to be like a larkbird and fly high up in the sky and sing like a larkbird? So this is why the poet keeps wondering if the goldfish doesn't sometimes long to sing and be like a larkbird and fly up in the sky. Summary of the poem. The poet asks the larkbird, which soars high in the sky, whether it is tired. He also asks if it doesn't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky. The poet also wonders if it doesn't sometimes wish to be a silent goldfish in the sea. The poet then asks the goldfish diving deep in the sea if it is never sad and whether it is really happy when it feels the cold waves creeping towards it. Lastly, the poet wonders if the goldfish doesn't sometimes long to sing and be a larkbird in flight. So, the poet Lawrence Alma Tadema asks the larkbird, which is flying high up in the sky, whether it is never tired of flying. and whether it is not exhausted flying high up in the sky. He then also asks if it doesn't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky, as the lark bird is flying up in the sky and don't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky. Then the poet also wonders if it doesn't sometimes wish to be a silent goldfish in the sea, as a lark is a bird and he might get tired flying high up in the sky. So the poet thinks that don't the larkfish ever wonder if he wants to ever be a goldfish in the sea? The poet then asks the goldfish, which is moving quickly and suddenly through the air, especially in a downwards direction in the sea, if it is never sad and whether it is really happy and it feels the cold waves moving slowly and quietly towards it. And lastly, at the end, the poet is wondering if the goldfish doesn't sometime long to sing like a lark bird and fly high up in the sky. So this is the summary of the poem A Lark, where the poet has beautifully described his thoughts on the lark bird, which is flying high up in the sky, and whether it is never tired and exhausted of anything. And then he also asks if he doesn't find the clouds very boring in the empty sky. And then he keeps wondering that doesn't sometimes the lark bird wish to be like a silent goldfish in the sea? He also talks to the goldfish, which is diving deep into the sea, and he says that is the goldfish never sad, or is it really happy when it feels the cold waves which are coming towards it? He keeps wondering. And then at the end, lastly, he wonders if the goldfish doesn't sometimes long to sing like a lark bird and fly high up in the sky, how the lark bird flies. He keeps wondering that doesn't the goldfish sometimes wish to sing and fly high up in the sky. So the poet expressed his thoughts through a poem and stated his points, where he talks about a lark bird if it doesn't wish to be like a goldfish in the sea, and he also has stated about a goldfish if it doesn't sometimes long to sing like a lark bird and fly in the sky. New words learned. First one is soaring, meaning flying or rising high in the air. Second one is weary, meaning very tired. Third one is dreary, meaning dull and boring. Fourth one is long to, meaning badly wish to do something. Fifth one is creep, meaning move slowly and quietly. Sixth one is diving, meaning moving quickly or suddenly through the air, especially in a downward direction. Guess the meaning of. First one is very. Second one is dreary. Third one is on the wing. So you have to guess the meaning of these three words and write it down. Write the rhyming words from the poem. First one is high. Second one is very. Third one is deep. Fourth one is sing. So you have to find out a rhyming pair for the given words from the poem. Answer the following questions. First one is write what the lark does. So, what does the lark bird do? You have to answer. Second one is write what the goldfish does. So, what does the goldfish do? You have to answer. Third one is what does the poet want to know from the lark? So, what is it that the poet want to know from the lark? You have to answer. Fourth one is what does the poet want to know from the goldfish? So, what is it that the poet want to know from the goldfish? You have to answer. Thank you.